Okay, I wanted to show the Skull & Co. D-pad cover that I picked up, along with the button caps that it comes with, that are supposedly like Super Famicom button caps. So this is the Switch with everything on it. This is the D-pad right here. This is the cross D-pad that it comes with. It works very well, actually. Feels very accurate. I actually have a Hori D-pad controller, and that worked very well, except for the fact that it doesn't have the motion controls and it doesn't have the rumble feature, and that actually caused problems in some games that use the motion controls mostly for this, and then some games would have. Even though most of the games the rumble seemed to actually work very well, even though it was only from one Joy-Con, other games were a little bit different, and you could tell that there was a difference there. So and plus it's a little bit bigger, and it's not compatible with all accessories for the Switch. So I wanted to be able to use it on. I wanted to be able to have a D-pad on the original Joy-Con without having to possibly sacrifice a Joy-Con by reshelling it or whatever. And it came with these buttons, so I figured I'd show this off. There is no pivot point here, so if you press it down in the middle, it will press all the buttons. In practice playing games, that has not happened, but I have been able to do it if I actually try to do it. However, I have been able to play Street Fighter games and all that just fine, the same as I would on this. It worked just as well with the D-pad controller. So for me that's fine. And I like the buttons because even though I don't think the color goes well, I did put them on in more of a reverse Xbox controller color scheme or whatever, because that's, I'm more familiar with the Xbox, controller buttons, whatever, but that just helps me because there's no labels on the buttons to know what everything is. So I know green is A, red is B, blue is X, and yellow is Y. Whereas on the Super Famicom controller, I'm using the 8-bit-do version, it's different, and I wouldn't know what to do with that if I needed to know what button's what. So I put it on in more of a reverse Xbox layout. It does make the buttons a little bigger. For me, that's good, because I feel like the buttons are a little too small, and they're a bit softer. They're more comfortable to use like that. And basically how this goes on is you basically have some 3N tape. It comes in here. This also comes with a different, what do you call it, D-pad, a circle thing like you had at the Sega Genesis. So they give you two of these. So you get two sets of D-pads and buttons. But you get the cross D-pad and the circle D-pad like that. I like the cross D-pad, so I use that. I think the buttons are just the same. So let me actually remove these so you can see what they look like. This is the D-pad, and focus. So that's the D-pad, and it's very thin and just goes over the buttons in these little circles, and you basically use tape to tape them down. I recommend that you clean your buttons before applying these caps on, because if you leave your oily residues and things like that on there, it won't stick right and all that. So my mic fell off. Bad tape. I got to get a clip. I caught it though. Anyway, so yeah, what was I gonna say? That threw me off. So yeah, we got the D-pad, the buttons. Oh, I want to show you the buttons. This is at least one of the buttons. So we'll have it focus. Or not. You could always beg it to focus. It's just a very thin, almost like a hollowed out chiclet thing. Or something. Not chiclet. Chiclets are like rectangular. But anyways, who cares? Yeah, they do have that feeling like an SNES gamepad. Yeah, except for they're just a little smaller. And let me focus. My brain needs to focus too. Yeah, so other than that, I mean, I've had good luck with them. I had another D-pad that I put on there. It was a kind of a stick-on D-pad. This mic wants to fall. But it was a stick-on D-pad, and you just put it on top, and you put it on top of all the buttons, and it just didn't work too well. But this one works really well, so I was hesitant about this one because of the last one I had. But this one actually works great. And I would recommend it over getting the Hori D-pad controller. It's cheaper, it's $7, and you get the D-pad and the caps. And that's that. And let me just, like I'm trying to hold my mic on while I'm doing this, but I wanted to show some kind of something here. Let me just try my hardest. Do I have my tape nearby? Oh, yes, I do. Okay, so what can I say to pass the time of me trying to tape my mic back on? I can say that. There you go. Oh, goodbye, tape. Bam. Anyways, it's still falling off. So I'll try to. This actually, by the way, the Satisfy case. It's really nice, actually. Let's see if we can. Let's do some Sonic. I'll do Street Fighter, but then I have to put the card in, and I have to work. Oh God, this thing is falling off. I should have used the other tape. Let me push this in frame, and now I'm just gonna. I'm gonna try to pick this up and play like this with the D-pad here. But first, we need this to focus. Hello. It's probably the worst thing to do because I keep failing at this, and now I'm trying to play it on camera. So I gotta look at the actual screen, but it's working very well. Let me show the D-pad. Let me just go this way, and I'm going to do things that require doing something other than moving forward. So, everything's working well here. Ooh, almost. Hey, I want to. Oh, fuck it. Let me just see. Okay, that's basically all I'm going to do there. But that was just to show D-pad on Sonic and everything. And so thank you for watching. I do recommend that if you want a D-pad as one of the options over butchering your Joy-Con. The Hori D-pad isn't bad either. It's just that it's missing a lot of features, and if you want something that is going to completely replace the D-pad, Joy-Con camera's gonna go off. I noticed the camera was gonna go off. I started stuttering. But yeah, if you want something that is going to completely replace your Joy-Con, yeah, the Hori D-pad is not good for a Joy-Con replacement, so you're best off just using the Joy-Con with the D-pad, or there's also that D-pad, what is that thing, the ad pad, which RGT85 failed to put on correctly, and then it fell off. Apparently that's not actually as bad as he says it is. He just didn't follow the directions when he put it on, so actually that's apparently a good option. And focusing the camera is also not a bad option too. But so that's about it, and thank you for watching. This video is a big fucking mess, but I'm totally confused, and have a good day.